I was wondering how exactly did I get both of you here together? Like, as Andrew, you brought up that you could do the interview with Jared, but I didn't mention that I was interviewing Jared. So, how exactly did this come about?
Yeah, we're teammates, and we both work together. Jared owns a painting company, and I'm one of his employees. Just teammate relationship, spend a lot of time together, so on the same page, so may as well do it together, right?
Yeah. So you just mentioned it, Jared, and then you mentioned that I had offered it to you too as well, or something.
Yeah, when you sent that message, it was the mutual friend was the only mutual friend we had was Andrew, so I figured he talked to you too. I know there's a
Oh.
little too, so I figured okay, and then we chatted about it, but I guess it wasn't whatever. But that's the deal.
Oh. Okay. All right. So yeah. So I'll just get started. Jared, how did you get the name the Yeti?
It goes all the way back to my old ball hockey days. I used to play for a team called the Sweaty Yetis, and I needed to start an email account for whatever reason, and I didn't want to be Jared123, so I just said Jared Yeti, and that kind of became my I guess my what was it handle for everything, and it was my Twitter handle, and then on my first NFC fight, Michael Chavello started calling me the Yeti. I'd never really been called that before, but he saw my Twitter and he started calling me the Yeti. It's stuck ever since.
How did you get your name, Andrew Conda? Is that because you choke everyone out or something?
No, I had an ex-girlfriend that was really polite, so she gave me that nickname, and it kind of stuck on it, you know. No, but yeah, just generic choking people anaconda. Made sense, but I got a few new ones now, so I'm thinking either the submission artist, formerly known as Andrew McInnes, or the choke artist.
The choke artist, I like it. Yeah, all of your fights you've won by submission and usually ending in the first round by choke. Like, do you like to finish the fight early, or does it just turn out that way because of your skill? Like, how does that always work out?
The way I think about it is just my opponents tell me how to beat them. If they clinch up with me, I really believe it's just a matter of time outside of the elite guys at 155 on Earth before they get tapped. You know what I mean? So my last guy kind of ran for me, played the point by game a little bit more than I like. Lifted my average fight time from like a minute and 10 seconds to 2.5 minutes or something. But yeah, if it's engaged on me, I feel I can get that tap pretty fast. But ultimately, they tell me how to tap them based on their head placement and everything else, you know. But I'm always looking for that neck.
Is there any reason why you prefer the choke over anything else?
There's
Like,
there's a lot of guys that can resist the arm bars and stuff like that. If you take that blood off one upstairs, works anybody on earth, and it's also kind of from me teaching. You know what I mean? From my students and stuff like that. I don't like reaching on joint locks as much as most guys, and it's just I don't know that the gentle art kind of crossed over into the mean fight game.
'cause it's harder to get out of a choke.
Nice chose. Yeah, works on everybody. Simple.
Yeah, once you've got it, you've pretty much got him. You won the fight, usually.
Yeah, locked in place, turn the brain off, get the win, go home. You know.
Yeah. So, you both have many more wins than losses. Why do you think you've been so successful so far?
For me, I would say that my biggest motto would be that I can be successful in anything I do as long as I'm dedicated and as long as I'm consistent. I don't think there's ever been a time longer than maybe 30 days when I had a cast on my hand from breaking it during a fight that I've stopped training, usually outside of even a week. I'm always training, and I always am trying to learn more and become a more complete fighter.
So your dedication to always improving yourself, you would say?
Yes. I'm no super athlete. I have some athletic ability, but again, I'd say my hard work and dedication is what's got me as far as I have, and I guess mental capacity as well.
Okay. And what about you? What would you say?
For me and my mindset, kind of since day one, I had really good leadership. My three coaches in my life, jiu-jitsu were Mark Bocek, in my opinion, the best guy in Canada for sure, probably North America. then Marcelo Garcia, and then now Robert Drysdale. But Bocek kind of put all the skill points into his character, and kind of put a big toolkit together before he jumped in MMA, and that was my goal. I think maybe I did that a little bit too much because I had a lot of difficulty finding opponents early on and had to take a big jump in my first test. But I just took a lot of time before I started fighting. I've been in this game for a long time, even though my 5 pro fights doesn't say I'm not experienced. I've been around for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of shows with my records, even though
And so, what were you doing before pro fighting?
Pardon me?
So, what were you doing before pro fighting then? Before you got into MFC?
Well, it's been a long time coming for jiu-jitsu, but before jiu-jitsu, that I started in 2004. I was just a typical Canadian meathead hockey player. Fought a lot playing hockey. The hockey route didn't work out for me. Took the ice out of it. Now I'm just fighting people in rings,
So, why do you like MMA more than hockey? Like, what made you make that choice?
It's the best challenge you can possibly look for. That if you want to know what you're made of, get in the fight. And if you're fighting somebody, why not be someone else that's working equally hard as you are?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a few guys, that's much more skilled than, and now I just feel it's time to challenge myself. So that's why I'm taking that huge jump up and going after a guy like Jacob Volkman.
Yeah. So, out of all of your fights, who would you guys say was the most challenging?
I probably loved the Teddy Ash fight the most. I think we battled it out to a very, very hard fought split decision. Even though I lost it, I still feel I won it. It was one of the funnest, craziest fights ever. The whole time, both of us just never quit. On the ground, standing up, we took shots after shots. It was a war of attrition, and it ended up in a decision. But probably one of my fondest memories in my MMA career.
And why do you think he was decided the victor instead of you? Because it was a split decision, right?
Yes, yeah. So I'd say I got more takedowns. He landed some bigger punches, and I've heard sometimes the Edmonton Commission has been guilty of weighing good shots over good ground in the past. I feel like even though he got me a couple of times, I dominated the final 2 rounds to get the decision. I was quite shocked when they announced it.
And Andrew, what would you say was your most challenging fight?
It's kind of hard for me to answer because I've had 5 fights and I've been in the cage for I believe like a total of 11 and a half minutes. But, yeah, so
you have a good point there.
My submissions were all fast. Like I said, that one guy really ran away from me a bunch last fight. He was point fighting and trying to get that decision. But my first pro fight, I had taken a really skilled guy, and he came out on top that one. Chad Laprise just won the Ultimate Fighter. He's still undefeated. Clipped me, beat me. And so that has to be the one. He beat me even though it was a really, really short contest. I was winning until he caught me, but he got the W. He's only that W over me, so credit for that. He's got to be the toughest guy for sure,
What about Chad was so much more difficult than you? Because you beat everybody else really quickly. Like, you won one of your fights in 18 seconds and another in 15 seconds. Like, why was Chad so much more difficult than the others?
I could go on all day with that one. It was my first pro fight. Self-admittedly, I didn't train very hard for it. I trained with the most incompetent bunch of retards possible. My team was like just a bunch of dummies, pretty much. My manager set my CAT scan for the day before weigh-ins. Probably shouldn't go around telling people this, but had to get my medicals forged. It was late to the venue. The fight almost didn't happen. And in addition to that, I'm fighting Chad Laprise. You know what I mean? So
it sounds like just a combination of things, like all went wrong.
Yeah, and I don't want to make excuses for it too much, but that's the situation. no personal digs at Chad. He did his job perfectly, and he's done very well for himself. So all the congratulations in the world to Chad for that. But I messed up a lot on that one.
Now, do you think if all that didn't go wrong, you would have had a better shot against Chad? Do you think you could have taken the fight?
Yeah, I've had some adversity with injuries after that fight. Of course, him being my only loss, so I've been really hunting to get back at him because that's just kind of the person I am. But at the same time, he's been injury free. He's been getting good wins, winning the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that. So it's kind of got to the point where him and I are almost not friends, but more so acquaintances in the fight game now. But no matter what, if I could fight that guy in my mom's backyard, I'll do it.
Yeah. So, if you guys could go back to any fight and fight it differently, what would it be? What would you do?
Oh. Mine would be the last fight, Dan Ring. Like I said, that whole round, he really tried to avoid engaging. And then in the
still won,
second
though.
round, what's that?
You still won, though.
Yeah, but he ran. He didn't come to the fight. And then in the second round, he caught me with a pretty good nut shot. And me being a big fight nerd, I've read somewhere that 85% of the people that get hit in the seeds go on to lose. So I got hit with it, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I rushed at him like the water boy and got a hold of that neck, kneed him up a little bit, and finished the fight. I just wish I did it a little bit faster. I don't think he's the guy that deserved to get me into the second round. But then again, that's pretty nitpicky because I did come out on top of that fight.
So he just kind of broke your record of winning in the first round every time, and you would have wanted to finish it early.
Yeah, my average fight time by like a minute and a half, so screw that guy.
And what about you, Jared?
So I would say I had one move that could have won me the fight if I had done one small thing differently.
And which fight was that?
Derek Parker, my first fight in the NFC. We had a pretty good battle. It was pretty sloppy and pretty crazy. But
That fight ended in a draw, right?
That one ended in a draw, yeah. And at one point, so I think he was likely a 9-9 round. I won the second round clearly, and the third round, if he wins, it's a draw. If I win, it's a decision win for me. So we're about probably 2:30 in the left in the fight, and I got him on the ropes, and I'm working, get my arms around his butt for a high double, lift him up, I got him. He's done, and then I go to slam, and he just bounces back up. I've watched the footage now. He's got out of just habit, he caught the elbow on the ring, and then I looked up at the time. It was about 2 minutes left, and I was like, "Oh no, I have no more gas." And he took me down and mounted me, and then got the back. He played the perfect final minute of the fight, and even though it was a draw, I counted it as a loss in my mind because I feel like I could have been smarter. So what I would have done with that takedown, I just would have turned him away from the ropes and then slammed him because I had him. Just one thing, just turn my body 180 degrees. That's all I would have done, and I would have had him on the floor for the rest of the round, and I would have won.
So just that one turn, and you would have taken the fight?
That's it, man. That's it. That was it. Yeah.
Okay. So, what about martial arts makes you guys what about it makes you guys want to dedicate your life to it?
I don't know. That's a really difficult question because I don't really.
Is it just because you enjoy it?
Martial artist, It's pretty much the same answer as earlier. It's just the most difficult thing I've ever came across. I have a real desire to learn all the aspects of the fight game, and pick up the techniques and fill in those skill bars. But don't really consider myself a martial artist. Don't really carry myself like one. But
so other than martial arts, what do you do?
Fight people. I don't know. When I think martial artist, I think like Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? I hate Bruce Lee. I think he's a self-pretentious douchebag. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch his interviews, his mannerisms and stuff, he just seems like a really shitty person. So ever since I was young, like I kind of had a shitty interpretation of the word martial artist. But yeah, I just think of myself as an athlete, a lifelong athlete. I went from hockey to fighting. I really take pride in technique, and I try to pass it on to my students and stuff like that. But the whole traditional word of the martial arts doesn't really apply to me, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't meaning like the traditional martial arts. I just mean like MMA in general. Just
Yeah, well, then it would just be me moving on my passion and exposing to other people, be it teaching my students or you know, putting on a show and fighting and stuff like that. You know, I just like opening people's eyes to the sport that had such a great influence on my life. You know, and there's a lot of people that think like that, but I really take pride in my technique and putting on shows, making people happy. You know.
mhm. And what would you say, Jared?
Um, I guess I'm not sure if I would consider myself a martial artist or not either. But
Well, you're both professional fighters. So
yeah,
I was just like wondering what made you want to go that path in your life, like instead of following another career or something. Because it's a difficult path, so you have to be very dedicated to want to do it. And I was wondering, like, what?
Meatheads, that's it. We're just a bunch of meatheads. Yeah, we don't think. We just do. Honestly, you know, I love the discipline aspect. I love the person I've become since I've become a fighter. The things that I've learned, the experiences that I've had, and I have a lot of respect for it. And I want people to try it as well if they're into it. You know, I understand that not everyone likes to get punched or punch people or likes the violence. And that's fine. Just don't get mad at me or get mad at anybody else because we do like it. To each of their own. But honestly, I'm just super happy with what's happened in my life with this, with fighting, my fitness, my mental control. The things that I've seen in my life are fantastic, and I know where I can go in a lot of places now.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything either of you would like to say to your fans or sponsors, anybody that might be listening to this interview?
I guess I would just say I love my team at Complete Fitness and Martial Arts here in St. Albert. We have a great thing going, and I wouldn't be where I am in these last few months without them. And I thank them very much. And I want to thank my wife, who takes care of all my kids. 3 kids, she takes care of them. She makes my food. She's a wonderful woman, and I love my kids very much. That will probably be it.
And Andrew?
For me, I guess I just want to say tune in MSE 41, October 3rd. I got a big fight against Jacob Volkman. Gonna skyrocket me hopefully up the world ranking. So tune in. Last fight of my contract. Mark Pavlik, give me a call. Let's put a new contract together. I want some more money in it though. That's all I gotta say with that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you guys very much for your time.
Yeah, that was fun. Appreciate it.
So what I'll do is I'm going to edit it, and within a few days it'll be right on the top of the front page of Fighter Empire, and I can send you guys both the link through Facebook if you want.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Thanks, everyone.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night.